I would have been 2, 4, 5, 6.
State of the Save makes its dramatic return today. What's up, everybody? It's me, Eric. With me, as always, Michael. How you doing, Michael?
It's RPG Summer!
It's RPG Summer! Cue the music, Michael!
I'm throwing music here in the editing.
Okay.
Why are you pointing at me?
I don't know. I just like it was like a variety show or something.
Music is thrown in there.
No, we are back with RPG Summer, part 1 of RPG Summer. It's exciting. Everybody voted for this. This is what you wanted, people. This is what you wanted from us. We are dancing for your entertainment. No, we're very excited. This is great. Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is going to be a fun time. I am very excited to talk about this.
I'm glowing to talk about this. I'm so excited to dive into this game.
Get your spiky hair up. Carry your comically large swords. It's time to talk about some RPGs.
Time to wear sunglasses at night.
Time to wear like gloves on one hand all the time. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. No, this is going to be a great time. Thank you guys for joining us. Michael, right off the bat.
Yes.
Hey, Michael, our show doing pretty good recently.
Yeah, we have like a healthy stream of like listeners. People who are coming in are sticking around for multiple episodes, going back and listening to old stuff. That's great to see. I want to highlight one comment here that like really made me happy. This is from Daniel D, who commented on our Last of Us episode 2. He says, I have yet to play this game because I don't have time yet listening to this podcast while driving, but it lets me experience this game, and that is awesome. Thank you both so much for running this podcast, and this episode is great. Keep it up, and can't wait for the next one. It's really cool that, like, we are the vessel for people to take in some of these games.
Michael! We are gods!
It's just crazy that, like, this is how, like, some of you can experience these games through the first time of like just our like enjoyment and our like passionate discussion about these things. That's a really cool thing. Thank you, Daniel D, for the really nice comments.
You know, we've been getting a lot more engagement and comments, and people have been finding the show. And at the end of the day, you know, we're not getting rich off of this thing. We're just here to have a good time, and we're really happy that people are joining us. And you know, man, it's just fun. You know, we do this for ourselves just as much as for anybody else, but it's always great when people are also enjoying what we're doing.
This was a hobby to get us through the pandemic first and foremost, and it became something that we can just put out there and share with people, and our passion for video games and the games that we love and the games that we are experiencing through the first time. It's a joy to do this, and I look forward to like coming back to the show whenever I can, and it's always a fun.
Yeah, I mean, and on a personal note, we relaunched this show when I was going through a rough time, and it's been a wonderful thing to have this thing kind of to keep me busy. And then as life has improved, because life has improved a lot, now I get to just enjoy having this thing, you know. And it's also a great time to you know, when you're busy adult people, it's hard to force time to spend time with your friends, and I get to know that I get to spend time with Michael every other week.
No.
Yeah, see, what's so sweet? Shucks. Until this thing blows up so much that I can forget about Michael and go get rich. No, but thank you guys so much. We have like so much exciting stuff coming up. Yes. RPG Summer is just part 1 of some, like, we have cool shit coming. Like, me and Michael have been kind of giddy over here. Little schoolgirls be like, no, we have some cool opportunities. Please continue to you know, go on there, subscribe to the TikToks, the YouTubes, put the comments, get the likes. All that stuff is so, I know it feels like everybody's always begging for that. Here's the reason why we're begging for it. We want that because we're being able to show people more of that stuff, and that's getting us in the door to do more cool shit. And the more cool shit we get to do, the more we can bring you along with us. So thank you guys for all the support. It's been awesome. And for all our new listeners, hey, welcome. There's a whole back catalog of shit you can go check out. No, RPG Summer, part 1 of another big event going on. Michael, you also did some cool stuff this week. You, first of all, how is 007?
I platinumed 007 First Light. Got every trophy for that game. That game's a blast. I came away at the end of that game thinking, man, Patrick Gibson should be our next Bond for a movie. He's that good. He leaves that strong of an impression. I showed a friend at work who's a big Bond fan who doesn't play video games a scene from that game, and his response was, I want this as a movie.
Well, I think
that's what you want this to be. You want it to connect people who know the character and people who don't know the character who just heard Bond is cool, and connect those two halves in a way that make a really awesome game, and they did it. Upon finishing the story, I immediately went back found a guide to go back through these levels, and it took me a few hours to get all the collectibles to get the platinum trophy. Very easy platinum. It takes there's none locked behind difficulty or the tax sim stuff or the challenges. Those are separate things. You play the game once and then you go back through the collectibles, and that's all the trophies. There's a couple of fun little combat things. One of the hardest ones was getting a guy with a stunner to stun one of his comrades. That was the hardest achievement in that game for me. I could not line that up.
I am a fan of those kind of achievements, though, because it's like, hey, play the game in a cool, fun way, you know?
All of them, at least a large majority of them, are Easter eggs to the most obscure Bond stuff. There's one called Icebreaker, which you're that's not a Bond movie. It's a book that wasn't written by Ian Fleming. That's a posthumous Bond novel. And I'm that is the stuff I want to see. Stuff that even I, as a lifetime Bond fan, go on it. You want to click on a video that says the 30 Easter eggs you missed in First Light, and you want it to be oh, that's cool.
You want to actually miss those Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. I've you play games that you're big fans of and stuff, and you click on those kind of videos sometimes, and it's blatantly obvious stuff, and you're I knew all this. But when it can actually bust out really obscure shit, it's oh man, I am that's so cool.
And this game is filled with the obscure stuff. They did their homework and their research. There's an affinity for the character in this game, and it is highly recommended. Bond fan or interested in Bond, 007 First Light is a contender for Game of the Year. It is fighting alongside Resident Evil Requiem. I don't know which one I like more because recency bias is a hell of a drug. So we'll see. The year is still young, and planes go burr.
Planes go
burr. So it's going to be a tough battle for them.
Michael's dream game comes out here in a little bit. So I had a guy on TikTok right before we started the show. I was scrolling TikTok, and he was talking about how this generation has no bangers, and that guy has not been playing video games apparently, because there's a ton of bangers this here fucking year.
Just this year alone,
he's claiming that this generation has no bangers, and I am blown away by this. No, I am so excited that game came out and lived up to your expectations, because I knew that was one of your big ones you've been looking forward to. I am excited to play it. I want to play it. I think it's going.
I'd like to revisit it for this show. Honestly.
Maybe we do it for the show.
Honestly,
we gotta wait a while.
$70 is a steep ask for people. It was a steep ask for me. But I did it.
Please go like the TikToks. Help us buy that game. No, we'll do 007 July next year. 7/7/7/27.
7/7/27. Ooh.
Yeah. That makes me happy, Michael.
Yes.
And Michael, weirdly enough, you not only have been playing, modern video games. You stepped. I stepped. What the hell is happening? I'm a professional, damn it. You stepped your toe or your foot. The fuck? Take the microphone from me, Michael. Quick.
I dipped my toe. I do what I usually do when I finish a long game. I don't even go immediately to a backlog game. I just go back and dabble in retro games. And this lined up well for me because I was watching last week Giant Bomb Video. They have a weekly series called Blight Club, where they force each other to play terrible video games from the beginning to completion. There is no escape from beating these games. They had a special guest on, Jacob Geller, makes awesome, the most insightful gaming breakdowns on YouTube. He is excellent. Jacob Geller does work with MinMax. He's fantastic. They made him play Jumper Griffin's story for the Nintendo Wii, based off that Hayden Christensen movie from, was it 2006? It was 2006.
That's one of those movies like Clock Stoppers and stuff.
Clock Stoppers, Push is another one like that.
It's like you forget they exist until someone brings them up, and then you can remember the entire plot of Clock Stopper.
They finished that game in 2 hours, and Dan Reichert brings up, "Hey, this was all in one sitting. You'll technically be the second number 2 on the speedrun leaderboards." And then I got a terrible idea.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't play that game. I was thinking about a game from my youth a game I rented back in 2002 for the PS1, because this game came out in 2002 for the PS1. We're deep into the 2002 for the PS1. We're deep into the PS2 at this point, and PS1 games were still coming out. Bad license games. I rated a game that I could beat in 45 minutes. I was basically speedrunning that game because I played it like 3 or 4 times, getting faster times as an 8-year-old. So I thought about, what are the speedrun times like? And we're right in like the 30 to 40 minute mark. I'm like, I could beat that. So I dipped my toe in speedrunning this terrible game. Dexter's Laboratory, Mandark's Laboratory. It has a question mark at the end of it. You have to inflect it every time you bring that up.
Okay.
It is, to put
we don't have to do that.
It is a mini game collection with like a loose hub world between these mini games. A game that's so barren with ideas that the first mini game is the same as the last mini game. There's only, you think mini game collection, Mario Party, like 50 mini games. There's 8.
I feel like you beat this game in about the same amount of time it took to make the video.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Yeah.
So I played one round. You gotta play it through once so you have the ability to skip the cutscenes and learn the game. My second time playing this game through put me at number 8 on the speedrun leaderboards out of 13 people. But for an any percent speedrun of Dexter's Laboratory, Mandark's Laboratory. But
do you think the people who are like 9 through 13, do they feel a little bit bad that you only played this twice and you got 8?
I don't think so. I feel like this is one that you just do because it's 30 minutes.
It's just like, I got nothing to do on this Sunday
and
afternoon.
The moderators are like numbers like 1 and 3 respectively, and they approved it. And like, I got a shout out on like the Discord going, "Hey, good job for your first speed run. That's awesome." Like, the speedrun community seems very encouraging of others to get through this.
If you ever watch like the Games Done Quick,
that's happening right now. Summer Games Done Quick is happening right now.
Son of a bitch.
That was another reason I was like, speedrunning was on my mind. I was
somebody
like,
go into the Games Done Quick chat and say, "State of the save and speedrunners now. Go, quick.
Speedrun Dexter's Lab."
Yeah, make them do it. Tell them that there's a new hotness on the scene.
I'm not going to talk about the game so much because it's bad. It's a bad game.
you didn't do it because it's a good game.
No.
You did it because you could.
I did it because I could beat it, and my time was 34 minutes.
Oh my god. You know what? You're on the leaderboard. Congratulations. You're a speedrunner.
I still need to cut out 4 minutes, not including runtime, to be like in the top 3. And a sick part of me is like, do it. Could I do that?
Professional. Imagine me and you sitting on the couch at the Games Done Quick as you speedrun Dexter's Laboratory. And I sit there and make fun of you in front of the other people you playing Dexter's Laboratory.
You would totally do to me I'd prefer it if you stopped talking.
Yes, I would actually. What I would actually do is just do all the socially awkward bits from all of those. Like, I would just interrupt the Legend of Zelda thing to make people clap. I would do all the socially awkward ones and just make people just do the highlights.
And then everyone there will be mad. It's like, these were memes from like 15 years ago. Keep up.
Yeah, but I'm not here for them. I'm here for me. Did you ever see the Halo speedrun where the guy they found out was a faker?
I watched the frog tell me about it.
Yeah, the frog, the Halo frog. I love the Halo frog. But he, if you don't know, there's a guy who's a frog. He's on YouTube. He's on YouTube. And he's big and
we sound like grandpa's talking about YouTube. No, the frog man told me about it.
Listen, if you don't listen to the frog man, who do you trust? But there was a guy who they caught who was a faker back in the day for Halo speedrunning, and like I think it took him like 4 hours.
It killed Halo speedrunning because people thought it was just like that's just how Halo speedrunning is. It's terrible.
It just
apparently.
takes 4 hours to beat Halo 1, and he had to drop it down from legendary to like normal, and like he couldn't even do it on legendary. I'm thinking I could still probably beat that time on legendary. I am no speedrunner.
As someone who is terrible at Halo, I sympathize. I'm also bad at Halo.
Yes, but
I don't pretend to be good at Halo.
You didn't sell yourself as the Halo speedrunner champion. You didn't get one of those green Xboxes because you lied. No, that is cool though. Professional speedrunners over here. Well, Michael is. I just ride on Michael's coattails.
I'm going to go, I think my next one is Motor Raid, that Sega arcade racer, because there's only one other person on there. And I'm like, I can beat that time.
You know what? I would love for you to be like, secretly have like 10 or 15 speedrunning records, but it's all on games no one cares about.
Exactly. That's the plan.
So Michael becomes the most successful speedrunner to ever exist in video games.
That's impossible.
Because he's just run. No, you just run the gambit on the crappy games. We're just not going to compete. When you go to the bar on a Friday night, the hot girl, you don't got a chance there. You wait for the other one. This is bad. This don't make me look good, actually. We're going to back up and punt, Michael. We're backing up and punting.
Anyway, the whole run is on our YouTube channel if you want to check that
out. The disappointment Michael is showing me right now. No, it is. Go check it out. It's on the YouTube channel. I watched some of it as I was out in the mountains, and I was looking at these beautiful views, and then I was looking at Michael speed running Dexter's Laboratory on my phone.
Please tell me you watched some of that.
I did. While I was looking at beautiful views. Okay. We got some stuff. We got this.
We're a video game podcast, so we are legally required to talk about the terrible news that happened in the past week.
Yes. I mean, we're going to bring it down. Okay. We're flipping our chairs around. We're going to sit business-like. No, there's been... we got to talk about it. There's been some rough stuff going on in the video game industry. There's two particular things I want to talk about today because they're the hot topics. They're the hot topics. Let's do the one that I think is the more clean-cut one first. Sony has announced that they are going to stop producing physical discs for their games. Michael, I think me and you are in a similar boat now. I buy the bulk of my video games digitally. But
yes, I went with a digital PS5 at the beginning of this generation because it was the same price as a PS4 Pro. I was wanting to get back into PlayStation. I wanted a Pro. They didn't go on sale, so I'm like, well, I have the money. I'm just going to get a PS5 digital instead. Because I don't have a PS4 library to go into. So I'm fine going digital on the PS5 generation. This feels like we're forcing this to happen faster than it would have just happened naturally. We were already almost there. I think Capcom was saying digital sales are like 9-1, digital versus physical. We were always heading in that direction, but my take is the console space is not at a point when it comes to digital licensing to ensure that your purchase is going to be protected in the long run. Steam and the PC is a lot more open. You have choices. You have GOG where your stuff is DRM free. You have Steam. You have like the Epic Games Store. You have like the Amazon Store. I don't know if EA Origin is still a thing. I'm not a PC gamer. But you have choices. When it comes to prices, there's competitive price points on these different platforms. When you buy a box, a $700 box, because that's what they are now, you are locked into those prices. There's no competition in the digital space. The physical space at least gave pressure on the digital side to where if a game all of a sudden was like $20 physical, the digital could kind of be pressed down a little bit. So they kind of informed each other. Even though I'm not buying physical games, I still benefit from physical games being out there because there's not a monopoly of how you buy these things. Sony, years ago, cut out buying physical codes in their stores to where now the only digital option is the PlayStation Store. That's it. And soon, with physical games going away, that store is going to be it. Whatever they decide the price is, they introduce a new, not quite targeted pricing model, we'll say, where based on if they determine that you haven't bought a game in a while and you've been looking at this one, they will, shove a deal in your face. Only you get this deal for the next 24 hours. Stuff like that. All digital storefronts do it, but it's having to wait on stuff like that versus making informed buying decisions, I think is going to be the Achilles heel of digital gaming. And the fact that they announced this on the same time, at the exact same time they announced this, they announced, oh yeah, we're killing the PlayStation 3 digital store next year. So not only did you announce at the same time, we're going all digital, you also in one foul swoop announce, this is finite. This is not permanent. There's no protection here. You still have a year to go and claim the digital PS3 games, which public service announcement. If you want a legitimate copy, if you want a legitimate way to play God Hand is $10 on the PS3 store, where it's $200 physical. So that is a good alternative if you want to play something on physical hardware without hardware modding or selling a kidney to get some of these games. That's a legitimate way to get these things. And we don't have, the PlayStation Store does not have refunds in a way that makes sense. If you download the game, you're not eligible for a refund.
I think that's the problem. The physical disc going away is not necessarily what I am worried about in this, right? Because I think most of us are buying primarily digital anyway.
We're watching our movies on streaming. We can't, if we really want a movie, they're hobbyists now almost. You can go, you seek out these things when you really want them and when they really matter to you.
I think the problem is, and the conversation that needs to be had, is that do we actually own the games we buy? Because if it can be taken away from you, you are not buying something, you are renting it.
Exactly.
And the problem I have here, because let's use God Hand as an example, right? God Hand will not be available legitimately once the PlayStation 3 store goes out, right? From a PlayStation point of view. At least there is still physical copies of that game that you could pay for. That game is still acquirable. Is the prices ridiculous? Yes. But
I haven't even looked. What is the spectator market doing to that thing now that it knows it's about to go away?
I'm sure it's going through the roof. But the problem is, to me, what happens when we go down this rabbit hole enough that eventually we get to a point that there is no physical way to acquire a game once the store goes offline?
Yep.
Also, if I am buying something, there should be no way that it can be taken away from me without me having a say in this, right? Also, when you buy something, you have the right to resell. You have the right to
trade with your friend.
Trade it over to your friend, because I own that shit. If I have a disc of something, I own that thing. And we do a retro video game podcast. Michael has handed me discs before that he owned to play that game. Because we own it. We are not owning any of these things anymore. We are renting them, and we are paying ownership prices. Or we are being told that we own it. My issue is, by completely finally giving up on the disc being there, we are basically saying, hey, we're taking away any argument here for ownership. You are basically buying a license to use this thing.
And I made peace with that when I made the conscious decision to buy a digital system. Am I part of the problem? Maybe.
I mean, yes, but I think the problem is they are taking away our ability to vote in this situation because you are not going to have an access to buy a disc version of a game. Resident Evil Code Veronica comes out.
Yep.
You might not. You don't. If you have a PlayStation, you don't have a disc for that game.
And if there's less deals, I'm gonna buy less games. That's just how it's gonna work. I only have a certain money is finite. I have a certain amount of money that I allocate to myself to entertain myself with video games.
I want to talk a financial side. I'm going to put that in the next conversation that we have. But yes, you are right. And what physical copies of games did is it gave you another avenue as a consumer to acquire things. You could go and buy secondhand. You could go and buy off of eBay the guy who sells his copy when he's done.
I went with Resident Evil 7 on a physical platform because I had like a Target deal that I could like attach it to. Stuff like that.
We do not have that anymore after this decision. And my concern is not, listen, Grand Theft Auto is coming out. It doesn't even have anything on the disc, right?
It doesn't even have
a disc. You are buying a box. Don't buy the box, first of all. Don't buy the fucking box. But second of all, you are not going to acquire that game in any realistic way. You are going to buy a license for it. Now, if that's how games want to start pitching themselves to us, hey, buy license for Gears of War E-Day. No, that's fine. If that's how they want to do it, let's be honest. Let's be transparent here. But if we're going to say you own this, you should not have the ability to take this shit away from me.
Yep.
I should own it because I bought it. And I should have the ability to, if I'm on PlayStation, download that fucking game onto my system and it stay there forever and it work. This also goes back to the whole, like, the don't kill games
legislation wanted to be passed, like the movement.
The movement for that. Because if you are buying something, you should have access to it. Now, if you are selling licenses, I'm a big Spotify guy. So I have Spotify Premium. Recently, a band that I like, it's a smaller band. A lot of the EPs and stuff that kind of from smaller labels disappeared. They're not on the Spotify anymore. I can't really complain about that because I don't own that. I subscribe to Spotify. It's no longer on Spotify. If I owned it, if I bought that disc or bought that record, and now I can't listen to it, now we got a problem because I own it. I should have the right to listen to it. So this is the thing. If we are going to do this, we need to stop saying that you own video games. Now we buy license to play video games.
Exactly.
We need to be transparent, and these things do matter. Because you taking away your ability to own something that you have paid for under the assumption that you own it is something that will bleed into other aspects of our life as things become more and more digital. It's a problem. I don't like it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not as sad about the physical loss of the disc as what it represents. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Part 2 of Sad Time with State of the Save is the Microsoft layoffs. Microsoft has laid off how many people?
1,600 now, 1,600 later, not 1,000. And 5 studios are not closed. They're being like reassigned. 2 of those studios, I believe it's Undead Labs and Double Fine. No, Undead Labs and Ninja Theory are being sold. Whereas Double Fine and Compulsion are going independent, meaning they're like financially liable for themselves. I don't know if it's been announced yet if Ninja Theory or Undead Labs has a buyer or if they're just being sold. Arcane is entering consultation to review strategic options. They're either going to be sold or they'll go independent. That's up to the French government because France has a lot more worker protection rights over there. So Xbox can't just get rid of a studio willy-nilly. They got to do some like...
France is notoriously businessman Eric here. France is notoriously difficult to do things like terminations and things like that. Like, you have to have a long-standing process to terminate people, to shut down companies. Worker rights over there are a lot more complicated than they are in the United States.
Yeah, we're not French, so I'm not going to talk too
No,
much about
I
that
would
'cause
actually,
I have no idea.
I would like to actually, though, if we have any listeners who are French who would like to kind of give me some insight into that,
Break it down for us.
break it down for us, because it's fascinating to me. I have only butted up into these conversations from time to time, and I'm always like blown away at like the complexities of it. Because in the United States, generally the company is able to do what they want most of the time.
It's a state by state.
It's a state by state. We are in like a right to work state, so they can just fire you for looking at them wrong. But like, it is very complicated in France compared to the United States.
Yeah.
I want it to be very clear that I am very sad for the people who have lost their jobs. There are thousands of people who are talented, wonderful, hardworking people who lost their jobs in this process.
And there's a ripple effect with this whole thing too, with Microsoft cutting projects like IOI, who just made the successful 007 First Light, had to cut some staff because Microsoft pulled funding for a game they had like a financial stake in. So,
I was reading today some id developers that lost their job today. Today,
that one hurts.
Yesterday was the release of the Doom: The Dark Ages DLC, the big like 10, 13 hour story DLC. I'm very excited for it. I'm looking forward to playing it. And people who were working on that lost their job yesterday. That sucks. That really sucks. My point that I want to talk about is all those people losing their jobs is a tragedy, and it's terrible. A lot of this is my angle in this situation is more with the failure of leadership to let it get to this point. Microsoft acquired all these studios in rapid succession. Okay?
And all 5 of them are ones that were scooped up in that period.
This buying frenzy that Microsoft went on.
We need content for Game Pass purchasing.
Basically, yes. We are running a live service. We need games coming out constantly. Buy a bunch of studios. My irritation is these studios were then not... It didn't seem like management was done to make sure that they were producing quality products or getting products out. Something before the show that I did not know about was that the State of Decay developers, they have a game coming out next year, but they are 9 years since the last release.
8 years as of today.
8 years, but 9 years next year. That's unacceptable from a business point of view. If I buy a studio and we're not getting something out of you, I, as a management, am going to ask questions about why I own you. Now, it is Microsoft's job to make sure that doesn't happen. That is not the people who are working on the ground level at that studio. Their job is to do their job.
To make the best video game possible.
The best video game ever.
State of Decay is a game full of systems on top of systems.
Those people are doing their job.
They want to make the most complicated zombie survival sim they can because that's what they were given the right to do.
But management's job is to ensure things are profitable and ensure that we are keeping the doors open on the studio. If that's not being done, there is going to be a point in which people are going to start asking questions about why are we paying for this studio,
especially when new
management has taken over Xbox. Also, I really hate this flippant back and forth. The new lady who her name
Asha Sharma.
Asha Sharma. I'm terrible with pronunciations. I apologize. She comes in, she does some good things, and everyone's like, yeah, she's saving Xbox, reactionary. Then she does this. What an evil woman she is. She's destroying Xbox. No, nothing is black and white. We live in grays. Let's be adults here.
That comes with the figurehead aspect too. Phil Spencer went through that constantly.
Phil Spencer was everyone's best friend, and then he was the enemy, public enemy number one. We do not know what actually goes on behind the scenes. We are not prepared. We are not like in these boardrooms. But there is an argument to be made, and there's something I'm trying to keep in mind. If Microsoft is trying to double down on, we are going to right our ship to a new direction, right? We went from this everything's an Xbox campaign, putting our games on other systems, And now, no, you know what? We're going to be planning for the future of releasing another console or something that resembles a console. We're going to bring back exclusives. We're going to be doing all these changes. There are going to be casualties in that process when you have purchased God knows every fucking developer in this system, and you've not been seeming to be ensuring that they are producing product or producing quality product.
Mm-hmm.
That is a failure point on Microsoft leadership and leadership of those companies. That is not a failure point on the people who lost their jobs. Because the people who got screwed over in this were the people who were just doing their jobs trying to make the best video games they possibly can. My irritation is you as management allowed that to happen by your failures. I walk in a management position. If I screw up and I lose people's jobs because of my mistake, that's a failure on my point, not on them. My frustration is these problems were long coming, and this axe situation sucks. But some of this is inevitable when you let these problems boil over for as long as they have.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these studios have not been producing good games. You can't keep producing bad games and not exist. No business is entitled to a profit.
And at least the ones that were getting selling or going independent, not closing, those are Undead Labs, as we said, they were taking 8 years to develop something. They're going to have a buyer. That game's going to come out, and it's going to be, if it holds to the promise, that game's going to be great. Does Xbox look worse cutting ties with the studio and they produce, if it's a masterpiece? I mean, what does that look like?
It says that the failure point was on Microsoft.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this.
And the stuff they did with Ninja Theory was super gross.
No,
showing a brand new game at a showcase only for them to be sold showing their game as a pitch. Hey, look at this studio. Aren't they great? You should buy them. Like that was and it was under the guise of an Xbox showcase was gross.
It was gross because this decision was made before they walked out on that stage.
Yep.
And that was disgusting. And that's an insult to that studio's hard work.
Because Ninja Theory, they're great.
No, they've done wonderful stuff. I like that last Hellblade game a lot. Didn't enjoy the combat, but I thought the story and the art of that game is top notch.
Which seems to be what they're going all in on for this next one.
My frustration is I understand it from a management point of view. If you are saying we have to right the ship, because here's the thing, guys. Bad times are coming when it comes to video game industry. We are seeing the prices of console. I was discussing with my partner. I was hooking up my Xbox. And I was saying how this Xbox Series X is more expensive today than the day I bought it. And how crazy that is. Because that's not how consoles usually work. Technology is going to be more expensive. That's not going to be fixed anytime soon.
A lot of that is Microsoft's fault.
A lot of it is Microsoft's fault. Like listen, I don't know who actually is the one at fault. So I don't want to assign names because I'm not in the boardroom.
Mm-hmm.
But my frustration is these problems should have been dealt with ahead of time. Because when you let these things fester, then you have to come in. If I am I don't know what's going on, but if they come in like, hey, we have to right this ship. We want to make this a profitable company, business for the company. Microsoft is profitable, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have? What's our situation? What's the state of Xbox? Why do I have all these things? I can't afford to have all these things. I have to do something with them now. That's a failure of letting it get to that point. And the shitty thing is, then you have to start making drastic measures. This is not a good PR look for Xbox. This is not a good... They don't want to do this at this time when they're trying to start repositioning Xbox as a competitor in the marketplace. That tells me that this was a necessity to make that happen. And the failure point is the management that let it get here. So the shitty thing is, in closing, because I am very passionate about this, because I understand it from a business point of view. Hey, if a game company hasn't made me a game in 8 years, what am I doing here?
We can sell them and make some of that money.
I can sell them. I can make that money. I can probably cut a deal to get that game that they do have on my system anyway. I'll just cut a deal on the way out, and I'll sell this thing. I don't have to pay that payroll. or whatever, or the support staff or whatever. I get that. The problem is they shouldn't have been in that boat in the first place. And the problem is the people that get hurt in these situations are not the people in those boardrooms. Mm-hmm. It's the guy who's a concept artist who's making money. He's just drawing. He's trying to make good games. He wants to make good games, and now he doesn't have a salary to pay for his family's home.
And with all the layoffs happening, there's less and less and less opportunities for these 3,200 individuals to find work back in the game industry. They're going to have to bring their talents elsewhere, and that is the biggest loss of this thing. Yes. So if you look at like talent at Japanese studios, talent like Capcom, Nintendo, not Konami, they're trying to right the ship. That talent that's been there since like the 1980s that are informing the next generation and the next generation. We don't have that luxury here.
Because we do not value our individual workers in this industry. And
we value like one guy at the top, and then...
And you know what? Yep. Sometimes the guy at the top is the reason the people at the bottom are losing their fucking jobs. So in closing, I think that there was probably necessity in this decision. But what I want you to, as a listener, if you get anything out of this, these people lost their job because leadership failed to protect them, which is the fundamental job of management. Like, when you come down to it, your job is to protect the people underneath you and make sure they get paid at the end of the day. They failed to do that, and now these people have lost their jobs. And put your angle at them.
And the people at the top are protected during all this, and the pencil pushers at the bottom are forced to go home and tell their families that they don't have a job anymore.
Protect these people as fellow workers. Help them land on their feet the best you can. But focus your angle on where that angle needs to be, which is the fact that it should have never got like this in the fucking first place. State of the Save proves this message, goddammit. We'll play some happy music as we transition to...
Now for the impossible pivot, as Vinny Calvert calls it in the Giant Beastcast.
Hey, Michael, you want to talk about video games?
Let's talk about video games.
Oh, my
Because despite everything... Video games are still freaking rad.
Because the people who make them are awesome people.
Yes.
The people who make video games work their fucking asses off and they produce amazing things. Speaking of something that a bunch of people worked their asses off and made a wonderful thing, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes. All right.
What a fucking transition. We're goddamn professionals.
Woo! All right.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Michael, RPG Summer's here. I am so excited to be playing this game with you.
We came to this, one reason we were attracted to this in particular was there's a lot of people are coming into Final Fantasy VII Remake right now for the first time. It is a game people are really excited about. The next one in, this game is getting ports and like updates to as we go on. And because of that, the purest Final Fantasy VII people are coming in and asking, which do I play? Do I play the original or do I play the remake? And you'll get a bunch of scattershot things. You have to play the original first, or you can jump in the remake and be just fine. We're going to answer that question. We are the definitive answer to that question.
Listeners, I want you to take every other opinion you've ever heard.
Throw it out the window.
Fuck those opinions. We are the voice of truth.
So I said on the TikTok, I kind of want to come at this discussion with answering 3 questions at the end of this thing. 1, does playing the original game and its ancillary material, like I have since playing this game, make the game better, and is it enhanced through multiple playthroughs? 2, is this this is for you, Eric. This is the question you'll answer at the end of this thing. Is this game a good entry point into Final Fantasy? Not just Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy, a long-standing series. And number 3, does this game succeed as the first part of a trilogy?
These are all really, really valid.
These questions. Are what we're going to ultimately dig into. Because there's not a consensus out there, we're going to make the consensus.
So join us on RPG Summer. Dun-dum. No, I think these are wonderful questions.
Yes.
I think these are the questions that we're going to be talking about, and we have so much time to talk about this game that I think that we're going to be able to kind of branch out into a lot of conversations.
Exactly. There's a little, it's a dense game with a lot of stuff, so that's why we need 5 parts to cover it.
Hell yeah.
So join us as we discuss the first 5 chapters of Final Fantasy VII Remake. You've never played...
I have never played this game. I've never played the original. I have played a little bit of a Final Fantasy game for this show. I enjoyed what I played, but I admit this is not a style that usually appeals to me. I'm a big RPG guy. I like RPGs, but I like Western RPGs generally. I like the BioWare stuff. I like Mass Effect. I like Dragon Age. I like Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 3. I like The Witcher. I like Western RPGs generally.
Swords and sorcery.
Yeah,
type.
and I like the Fallout and Oblivion and stuff like that. That's what I come to. That's what I grew up with. That's the vibe that connects with me. When I see the spiky anime hair, it's usually not a thing that appeals to me. Now, I tried. I dated a girl for a little bit who made me watch a bunch of anime. It didn't connect very well, but I realized I tried. But long story short, I came into this, I wanted to come into it with an open mind. And I said to myself, I'm going to come into this as if, I'm going to try to take those misconceptions and put them in the ground. So far, I'm fucking loving this thing.
Really?
I'm fucking
that
loving
high
it.
on it already?
Oh my god.
So what I think is cool, I played a little bit, my introduction into Final Fantasy VII, I played up past where this game will end in college, near the end of the first disc. I then played Remake, and that compelled me to be a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I played all the ancillary materials, went to Rebirth, and then went back to play the original game, and now I'm back here. And I think this game is stronger coming back after we're paying it after the expectation. This is a remake of one of the most critically acclaimed, important games of all time.
On EGM's top 200 video games of all time, I believe it was in the top 20.
That's
it was in the
really
top
high.
Yeah, it was very high.
They're saying it's in the top 10% of games ever made. That's insane. That's
of the time.
Yeah.
This was back in 2007.
Expectations were huge. I think this is a game that is better served as its own thing, not tied to the legacy of the original. Because what we have here is a very interesting mix of JRPG structure thrown into a AAA linear action game, and I think it mostly succeeds at that. It's a very different game from the original game. But I think it works here really well. And one thing that we'll discuss on, we're in the building blocks of the introduction of this thing, and we've only barely met characters. These are very famous characters with a lot of ancillary material in. What's your first impression of, did this game kind of match what you had in your head? Because I know as a gamer, you've seen these characters before. You've seen memes of these characters before.
Listen,
was there a lot different there? Was your expectations sort of met, or were characters different than how you expected them to be?
It's very back and forth. So, obviously, being in the video game space, you know Final Fantasy VII characters, and you know the memes, right?
You know the plot twist at the end of
stabbing Aerith. I know that. I know Shaco. Spoiler. Oh my god. I've seen 1,000,001 cosplays. I've seen some pictures of Tifa on the Twitter that you probably can't repost.
And the Italian Parliament.
Listen, that man has good taste in his video game women because I'm a Tifa supporter. No, but I've seen all that stuff. I am vaguely aware. Kenny Omega has been doing the One Wing Angel for a long time. I know what that reference is. I am blown away by how likable these characters are to me. Because I struggle with the anime style of character development and characters. a lot. It's not like a personal attack at people. God damn it. It's just not my vibe usually. And so when I see these characters, I think I usually in my brain kind of figure them out in my head. There's a couple of characters that are very much that style, but a lot of them are a lot better than I thought they were. I did not go into this thinking I was going to like Cloud as much as I did. Me and Cloud are homies. I would hang out with Cloud. I vibe with Cloud.
I love our PTSD boy.
I would not have thought that going into this.
You think anime sword guy.
Listen, I see a little
anime
twink guy swinging a big sword, and I'm like, not my vibe. And then I'm like, that's the coolest little anime twink I've ever seen. I hang out with you any day of the week. Michael's like, I'm not so comfortable.
No. I was thinking that's funny to me because I thought you would be coming in going, Barrett's my guy.
Barrett, me and Barrett kind of have a questionable relationship, actually. But Cloud, I love Cloud. I really enjoy him. I'm enjoying almost everyone here. Barrett is a character who I get on premise, but there is a little bit of that, like, Japanese style writing for black characters can be a little bit stereotypical.
Would you believe me if I said this was toned down from the original?
I would totally believe you. To the point that I was playing this in front of my partner, and she was like, he's kind of a stereotype, isn't he? And I go, sort of, but then I get that they're trying to do some more complex stuff with him.
Then he has moments of, like, heart.
Yes.
And you're like, I see, you see where he's coming from.
I want you to tell me something about him, because I like Barrett as a character. I don't have anybody about the main cast that I don't like. Here's my question about Barrett, because you played the original.
Yes.
I imagine in the original, he is a lot more of a stereotype.
More
stereotypical. He's a little bit more like...
It's mostly due to how they write his dialogue on the screen, because they write in an accent in the...
Yes. So I kind of understand it from a point of view of, we have a character who has a very specific way of speaking and acting.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep his characterization, but also we want to modernize him. So I kind of see that. So I would love for someone who's African American to tell me like how they vibe with the character, because I think that would be a very interesting conversation. It's not my culture, so I would love to hear about that.
Smarter person than me, Austin Walker, I heard him talk about Final Fantasy VII, and he said at the time, just seeing that representation in an RPG like that was huge on its own.
I could see
stereotypes be damned.
I could see that, because he is not like embarrassing. He is a major hero in this game so far.
Passionate.
He's passionate, and I feel like that's why I would love to have someone talk to me and be like, "Hey, this is how I feel about it." Who has that experience? Who grew up either with the original game or even has just played this one, because I would love to see like, hey, how does this ring with you? Because I'm seeing it from a very obvious different perspective than them. And hey, that's a big reason why we should have multiple voices in gaming, because they can come at it from different points of view. Mm-hmm. But I am so enamored with this cast. Like, this whole cast is just, I love everybody in it. I'm the design of this universe is beautiful. I love how quickly they get you into like the building blocks of the society.
Yeah, right. So right away from let's transition from that to like the intro.
Yes.
Like, this is very much expanded from the original. We have our shots of like this desert area coming in to where we're going to spend this entire game, Midgar. It's very Las Vegas in that vibe too, and that it's like this central like metropolitan area in the middle of this desert. There's really cool shots of like the reactors when they turn, the night falls and the reactors turn on, and when the reactors turn on, all the lights turn on. There's
a beautiful camera work, like the camera work of it, like sweeping down between the buildings, and like introducing characters as it goes through. I love this opening so much, because you get the Jesse breaks down how
the structure of Midgar, and that there's like a lower plate and a higher plate. That this game, bright subtlety with the sledgehammer, lower class, upper class. As you get to like the upper class area, there's a lot more modernization. The buildings are a lot cleaner. It's like a mix of like modern industrial and like 20s and 40s in a way that I just love how those things clash. But all the industrial stuff we see, like the plants are dying. Like there's just flowers and like otherwise beautiful, like the beautiful sun, like flowers are wilting. And I mean, I think that's just a really cool like
having a very strong eco messaging to this game at the time was, I imagine, kind of progressive, and is also very progressive even to this day as we continue to destroy our planet. But yeah, I did not know that either. So I didn't know that one of the driving forces of our team, of Avalanche, was going to be like an eco-terrorism, kind of thing.
Like right away, we're on a mission.
I mean, yeah, right away.
We're gonna bomb one of these reactors from the very beginning.
Hell yes, we are going to bomb some. We're going to bomb some reactors. I really love this introduction because it's the drop you in the middle of the thing, get you going. That style of introduction, which I prefer.
We got our entire world laid out without a single line of dialogue.
Yes,
just music doing it. Because as we go from our flower peddler who's like looking at a broken like pipe with like this energy going off it. She walks. She's carrying these flowers that we know from this intro are like dead, and she drops one, and people are just like walking through it, step on it without a care in the world. She looks up, and then that's where we get our intro. Final Fantasy VII Remake. The blaring music goes in as we're going to like a different part of Midgar. The camera work here going from one section, zooming out, then going to a completely different section, showing how this world is alive and like all this stuff is happening at the same time. We get a close-up of this train. We get our intro to Cloud, our main character, riding on top of this train. He's an anime dude with a big sword. Right away, everything is laid out from this, and I just love how this intro plays out.
I'm bringing up my notes here because I think that there was a lot of subtlety in the introduction to the universe in this first couple of chapters that is it's almost understated how well they do this, because we're introduced very quickly to like the cast. We're introduced to Cloud as our main character. Obviously, we're on a mission to blow up this reactor. Because Cloud is not invested, it gives us an excuse not to know things, right? Yeah. Cloud is just the muscle. He's been hired to be the muscle.
Not interested is his catchphrase. Yeah. Not interested, where's my money?
Where's my... So you know what? Hell yeah. I'm not interested, and I want to know where my fucking money is too. And you know what? I too am distracted by pretty ladies. You know what? Damn it, Cloud and me, we could hang out.
Right when a pretty lady talks to him, that like hard aura goes like down, and all of a sudden he's like he's more chill of a guy.
Yep. You know, I mean, that is kind of a part of his character. He is like a hard, badass guy, and he's easily taken in by some ladies. I like that.
He's playing harder than he is, which is going to play throughout the entirety of like not just this game, but like this whole trilogy remake and this thing. I love Cloud.
I love Cloud a lot.
Cool callback to the original here. I love throughout this entire section as we're like working our way through Maka Reactor 1. Cloud is the muscle. They're getting you to like dispatch these guards as Avalanche is in hiding, and when you're in the middle of the fighting, they'll just like break through. They'll give like you a salute, like, all right, see you in the next section. So like as you're fighting, you'll see them like in the rafters, like running through. I love that stuff. Quick little reference to the original. Cloud starts at level 6 when you beat the 2 guards for the combat tutorial. Level 7.
I love that. Yeah. I did not know that was a reference to the original, obviously, but I did realize that obviously it's Final Fantasy VII. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cute thing. I kind of also like characters that don't start at level 1, when they're supposed to be badass.
When they're experienced, he has like
Cloud is a badass.
He already has magic equipped because of course he does. He was a member of Soldier.
Yes, which we will get into here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I really love this whole sequence as we're walking our way to the reactor. Obviously, it's mostly some like, I'm a badass, Barrett doesn't trust me, and everyone else on the team is kind of cool with me.
Because they're like, hey, he's just helping out. Isn't that great?
Because
like,
we have Briggs, Wedge.
Biggs and Wedge is your Star Wars reference here.
I was about to reference that. Those are both pilots from X-Wing pilots from Star Wars. And then we have Jesse. Mm-hmm. I love the character designs of these guys. It's such a simple thing. They got the little bandanas and stuff, but all the character designs in this game are top notch for the main cast and for the villains and such.
Tatsuya Nomura, just fantastic character design, like very striking. Good character design is if you can recognize them from a silhouette, and all of these characters are like easily recognizable from that. I love these guys, and we'll talk about the Avalanche crew when we get to Chapter 4, which is their big time to shine. But I will say the Avalanche crew gets more time in just this one section than they do the entirety of the original Final Fantasy VII.
So I am aware of that because I think one time you informed me that this is very expanded with those guys.
Yeah.
And which blows my mind because I love these guys. So I'm like, the fact that we didn't get a ton of time in this in the original, it seems crazy to me. But I love this whole crew.
The camaraderie, they feel like they've been doing this forever and that they love doing it together.
And also, like, you get across that vibe of Cloud as the outsider, right? They are not, like, they're so warm with each other that he feels distant from them.
They want to bring Wedge especially wants to bring Cloud in, but there's a point later on where they're like, oh, you don't want to join us? Okay, that's cool. You can go off on your way. And that's just what people do. Like, we try to bring you in. He's not interested. That's okay. We can do this without him.
I genuinely love this whole cast. This whole sequence as we're walking our way down to the reactor, there's a lot of gameplay stuff here, but not a lot of story stuff. We know Cloud has some PTSD stuff. He's doing some flashbacks. He's having some confusion, but that's stuff that's more explained and more dealt with later on than it is here.
We're getting flashes of like his home, his memories of Tifa.
Little kid everything. Cloud, little kid Tifa. There's some references to the fact that Tifa is associated with the group, but she's not there, obviously.
Like she has ties to Avalanche.
Yeah.
Like we'll find out that she's the keeper of their hideout. Like they have a hideout inside her bar. She has a bar. That's cool. I love this. I want to talk about one exchange between Barrett and Cloud because it sums up these characters. It's where Cloud, after a combat encounter, Barrett looks at him and says, "So what are you, early 20s?" And then Cloud says, "First." He's like, "What?" He goes, "Soldier first class." He's like, "I mean your age, not your damn rank. What are you talking about, you idiot?"
But I like he doesn't remember. Like Cloud doesn't know his age. Like he doesn't remember, which I do like actually. This is a classic Japanese thing to like be on the nose with the names of things. The fact that they're soldiers is a weird name. I wish they would have come up with something else, but whatever.
I kind of like it. So like soldier, because there's a good bit here. There's the music is building to the first time you hear a version of the battle theme here, and they said he's soldier, and he goes X soldier.
Yeah.
Little Easter egg here. X soldier was what Cloud's name is in the game until you get to name him when someone asks Cloud what his name is. It just says X soldier. So
that's cool.
That's a cool little Easter egg.
I love little stuff.
I'm gonna point out little stuff.
No,
like
please do, because I'm obviously not picking up on them.
Yeah.
So I would love to get them.
So stuff like that I really like.
A lot of this is combat tutorial. I really want to wait until we get deeper into the combat to talk about it.
Because it's little by little. Right now you're just hitting square, but the combat is deep, and I love the way they divvy out little pieces of it as we go on.
Chapter 1 and 2 combat, very straightforward. By the time I hit Chapter 5, I was fighting for my life. Switching back and forth to characters, using spells, bringing people back up with the items.
Punisher mode.
Mode.
The fact that you're juggling multiple characters at once and they all have different... They all play completely different.
You have
from each
Tifa
other.
who's about building up her kind of like getting her up to a point that she can do more damage because she's very low damage baseline. You have Cloud, who's switching back between Operator and Punisher mode, and he's also your primary DPS. You got Barrett, who's got like this charge mechanic to his gun, on top of the fact that he's like your range guy.
He's your guy to deal with like the aerial enemies and stuff.
Yeah, because he can take down all the drones and stuff. But I really want to talk about that as we get deeper into the combat.
Yeah, Chapter 5 is our like...
let's have combat talk in Chapter 5.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's really smart how they introduce it.
With the exception of boss fights here, like we have the Guard Scorpion boss fight when you get to the reactor.
Which is a pretty good boss fight, actually.
Yes. It's... where you really benefit from like juggling back and forth between Cloud and Barrett, like casting spells, when to attack, when not to attack is just as important.
I was originally trying to do the dodge too much because I don't know, I just had like the Dark Souls combat in my head of like dodge, and a lot of times it's better to block.
It's better to block. Like you wouldn't think that because you do take some damage on a block, but Cloud doesn't typically stagger when he's blocking. He can still stay in the fight in that regard.
You forget that Cloud is like your primary DPS guy at this point, so he needs to be standing there kind of tanking some
He's
stuff.
got a big sword. He can use it like a big sword, turns out.
Oh yeah, what a surprise. We do set the reactor bomb. We blow up the reactor, but then something shady happens. Also, did you set it to the shorter timer or the longer one?
Shorter timer, 20 minutes.
Barrett
says, risky, aren't you?
And I was booking it, and then I still had like 15 minutes when I got out, and I was, God damn. I was like, I had plenty of time.
Yeah, the original game's like that too. You have way more time than you need in the section too. It's very generous too. The timer just stops when you're like not running, like when you're in a... in between like combat encounter zones, the timer will just stop. I'm like, this kind of ruins the sense of like dread here.
Especially with how much time I had left when I got out. You could have probably just made me run faster.
Yeah.
But we have a good boss fight. When we blow up the reactor, there's something else that goes on that we don't see from a player point of view, but we as the audience see, is that the damage that's done is not necessarily all from the bomb.
It's to the equipment. When the initial bomb goes off, like all the equipment like falls apart.
Which is what the plan was. But then they wreck everything else.
Yeah, Shinra our main antagonists, say, we have an opportunity here. They turn all of the enemies and all the machines that you see, all of the guns go on the reactor and just blow it to hell.
Yeah, which is a major plot point here because, like, Jessie, who was our bomb kind of expert, takes responsibility. She's like, oh shit, I put too much explosives. I blew this thing up like this. Because Chapter 2 is kind of like after effects of the mission. We see, like, there was a lot of collateral damage that was done.
People are dying.
People are dead in the streets. Like, there was major collateral damage, which is not what Avalanche's goal was. The goal was...
save the planet.
To save the planet, and they killed a bunch of people in their minds. And you see this affect everyone differently. Barrett kind of takes it as, this is what's got to be done. Like, Barrett's kind of like a true believer.
He's into like, whenever he has a moment to talk about the cause, he is going to talk about the cause. Let me tell you about the planet, Cloud. The planet's dying, Cloud.
But also, like, I get it from his character's perspective that he's willing to do whatever needs to be done to win this. But, like, Jessie, it affects very deeply because she's the one who set the bomb. Wedge and Briggs are, like, kind of... They obviously kind of see it a little bit more sympathetic. But I really like this after effect of, hey, this went off a lot bigger than we thought it did, and now we have to see the people around us, you know, dealing with the repercussions of it.
Yeah, and as we go on, like, a lot of the background, there's a lot of background talk in this game, maybe a little too much background talk from the crowd at one time. They could space them out a little bit, but it seems like as you're passing through people, especially in the hub areas, people are just, like, like, you'll get 10 lines of dialogue at once. I'm like, space these out. I get what you're doing here, but it's just too much. But there's a lot of distrust in Avalanche. They're being branded as terrorists by the public because this bombing goes wrong. There's doubt within Avalanche themselves. And it's a big focus, like, later on. But, like, people are starting to blame this group called Wutai.
Yeah.
too. Like, you may have heard it uttered, and there's like a really like sort of gung-ho like racist woman in chapter 4 being like, it was a Wu Tai again.
Yeah, she had a broom.
She was very upset about that. We'll deal with that later.
Yeah, we do see them, but like we don't get much interaction.
Oh no, we don't.
No, we don't see them.
But,
That's a
yeah,
different. That's a different Avalanche group that saves us in 4.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah,
but I'll put a pin in that.
No, I really do like having to see the repercussions. We're just trying to get to the train, get out of Dodge, get back down to the lower plate. One of my favorite sequences here is as Cloud kind of is off on his own, we start running into these flashbacks of Sephiroth. Now, I know Sephiroth just because it's impossible not to know that he's the main big bad.
He's arguably the most famous villain in video games.
Yes. And I really love the level of build-up he gets here. Like, he is utterly terrifying to Cloud, who we've already tried to establish is a badass.
I love that you like this a lot.
Do people not like this?
So Sephiroth in this game, we'll talk about Sephiroth much deeper. In the original game, he's not seen at this point. He is... the developers have declared... In the original game, he's Jaws. He's off in the shadows. People are talking about Sephiroth. Sephiroth is like more of a force of nature. In here, they wanted to go for more of a Darth Vader approach with Sephiroth. And
may I say something?
Yes.
I think that only works once. So having him be Jaws only works when you've never seen him. Now that we know who Sephiroth is, even as a person who didn't play the original, you can play up his reputation in a more blatant way, because the whole thing of like, oh, Sephiroth, we already know him from osmosis or from playing the original version. So I think it is better to be like, oh, Sephiroth is haunting every step of the way. Look at the reaction that he builds in Cloud.
He hates this dude. I'm going to mess with this dude every chance I get.
The line, we are like interlinked, you and I. And like Cloud, like, you're dead. Which, because I don't know anything about Sephiroth.
And Sephiroth's so sassy. I am.
He's so sassy.
It's important to note here, so the fire that's around Cloud triggers his PTSD, and they do a good job of teasing the village in Chapter 1, where you see Cloud's village, because then you see some of the buildings. As you're walking through, the buildings of Midgar are changing into Cloud's village as it's burning down. And Sephiroth is sitting at the end of it. Everyone knows the famous shot of Sephiroth turning through the fire, and we get a little bit of tease of that here. I was not going to bring this up, but I forgot Sephiroth just brings it up here, so I'm going to talk about it. Sephiroth talks about killing Cloud's mother.
Yeah, he straight up says, he's like, I killed your mom.
So I'm going to bring up something here that I wasn't going to touch on. He says, run, Cloud, run away. And that's when Cloud says, you bastard, and swings a sword at him. We learned from Rebirth, run, Cloud, run away is the dying words of Cloud's mom.
Do we not know that
We did not know that until Rebirth. So going back and playing this one, I'm like, oh my god. Run, Cloud, run. That's when Cloud snaps and pulls his sword on him.
I really love this because, like, I think that, listen, it doesn't sound super cool if Sephiroth is this, like, force of nature that's only hinted at. He's he who should not be named, right?
Yeah, that's sort of what he is in the original game.
But because he can't be that twice, this is a good way of doing it.
This is also part 1 of a trilogy. Having your major villain only talked about in part 1 for a very long, expansive video game. It's not a 2-hour movie. This is a 30-hour video game. I really like the change up here with Sephiroth, and I think it all depends on how they pay off part 3. I'm not going to touch on that, but it all depends on how they wrap up this trilogy with Sephiroth, or how I feel about him here. I think it's a really great introduction for people who are just now getting into Sephiroth. This sassy dude with like just this aura about him is surrounded by fire is how you introduce a villain.
This concept that he is so traumatic to Cloud that Cloud is like visibly can't escape the image of him. Like he has wrecked Cloud emotionally. And the fact that he enjoys that.
This otherwise badass we see completely fall apart at the sight of Sephiroth.
Yeah,
there's a little fear about that in chapter 1 where he just imagines like a black feather falling down, and he just has that look of terror.
Yeah, because we establish all across the rest of this whole playthrough so far that Cloud is a badass, and yet there's someone out there that has our badass protagonist terrified. He is a little boy when he sees Sephiroth.
I love that,
and I love that. Yeah.
So then we run, after we get through the fire, we see our flower peddler at the beginning. Should we just call her by her name?
It's Aerith.
It's Aerith.
I mean...
they don't say her name right yet. We'll learn it later on as we play the game, but...
right when I saw Aerith, I was like, no wonder Michael likes Aerith. I was like, God damn, Michael. I could tell. This is a Michael character. It's a Michael character.
What do you mean?
You get a type.
So Aerith is being held in place by ghosts here. There's like these like ghostly figures that are circling around her. And time falls in place when Sephiroth rears his head again. He just puts his hand on her shoulder and time stops. And he says, "You are too weak to save anyone."
I love that because I know the spoiler as well.
Yeah.
And because you can't do the shocks twice, you know you can't have the monster reveal twice. By being able to play into like you know how this ends, don't you? It's great because that's worse. Because now I'm like motherfucker, because I know that I've seen the meme a million times. I've seen the scene. I know that the sword coming down and that just the hand on her, just like you know how this ends. You can't save anyone. Like you can't save her. This is inevitable.
So that's interesting phrase in there. The I know how this ends too. Like
yeah. I fucking love it.
That's interesting that you're picking up on stuff.
Well, because I just know some of the I know it from osmosis.
Yeah, that some of the stuff. That's cool. So as Cloud is freaking out again, Aerith breaks him out of it. She's like, "Hey, you okay?" And Cloud's like, "Yeah, what of it?" She's like, "You look like you need a flower."
I love also he wears the flower for the rest of the time.
So you do say, yeah, you don't turn away the flower?
Yeah, I took the flower.
She says lovers used to give these when they were reunited. And I love their interchange here because Cloud seems like he's trying to protect her. Like he's like, I'm into some things, dangerous things. And she just says, "Oh yeah, I'm sure you are."
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, whatever. Everyone's into dangerous stuff. What are you talking about? You weirdo.
I really love the fact, obviously she's got some ties to the ghost, as I refer to them. They're the ghost.
We'll call them the ghosts.
Yeah.
There's a moment that like lingers here between them, and then the ghosts come back and sort of chase you off. And I love the whole "see you around" as she's being chased out the scene by the ghost. It was literally a cane coming in, and being like this.
We'll get to you later. Yeah.
See you next time.
I really like the combat sequence in this whole thing because we're escaping on our own. The whole universe is so well designed and beautiful. Like we got the helicopter bringing people in. We're getting new enemy types showing up, guys with riot shields, dogs. All of this just leads to us doing a cool, awesome, badass moment in which we jump onto the train.
Yeah.
Which, it's... I'm breezing through stuff, but it's because it's just cool combat stuff.
Yeah, all the combat stuff we'll talk about at the end.
We'll talk combat stuff in 5.
I do want to talk about music here because, like, this is a variation of the battle theme, of the main battle theme from Final Fantasy VII that's playing its way through this chapter. And as it does the build up to the da 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 da, as it like the music climbs, here it does da da da, and then holds on that note, like teasing you, going, nope, not yet. This is not the battle theme you know yet. It's not until you get to the boss fight of this chapter where they play the battle theme in full. This game is made by people. You can tell this is made by people who have made the original and have a reverence for the original. Everything from its characters to its world design to its music. Coming back and playing this game after playing the original is like it's cliche to say, but it's a love letter. It is.
It's how I feel about Resident Evil 4 Remake. Where it's like, oh, you fucking love this other game. And you're not trying to necessarily replace it. You're trying to, you're writing a love letter to it.
It's in conversation with the original game.
Exactly. What a
Yes.
nice turn of phrase right there.
Yeah.
Look at you. And this is why we are like, we're getting success. Look at this. Look at this. Put that in the back of the box. I really like this whole sequence. I like the cool jump on the train stuff. They kind of catch us back up with the rest of Avalanche.
Everyone's like, "Where's Cloud?" The Cloud appears, and Barrett tries very hard not to look impressed.
My favorite thing is Cloud just like, I gotta get my money. Like, Cloud,
does he come in? He's like, "I can't leave you. I need my money.
You gotta pay me." This brings us to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is my favorite chapter.
There's one bit.
Oh yeah, I missed something.
Yeah, well, on the train ride in, we're coming through. This is where Jesse explains the ID system.
Yes,
and how she's sort of like the tech op. I like that she's like the tech officer for this group because she handles like the bombs, she handles like the IDs, and she was like, if all goes well, these ID scans won't pick us up, and they don't. I like that they're playing the seed for like when this happens later.
Yeah, in 5.
When it breaks later and they don't work anymore. But there's also a bit here where Barrett is just sitting down saying, I'm just a concerned law-abiding citizen. My note here is Barrett, law-abiding citizen Wallace, just sitting with full gun arm next to this dude.
Every time that we're supposed to be inconspicuous,
Barrett's
got a Gatling gun as an arm. And I'm like, Barrett, put a bag over it or something, man. Damn.
You're making the Shinra middle manager uncomfortable.
I love
title.
that he's getting into like philosophy arguments with middle management where he's like, you're ruining the planet. He's like, I'm trying to do my job. And he's like, I got a Gatling gun.
You sympathize with these terrorists and you think he's about to be like, I am one of these terrorists, but he's like, I'm just a concerned citizen who thinks they're doing a good job.
Gun.
I'm like, Barrett, just
I love it.
Crank it back like 10%, dude.
Listen, the less you think about it, the more it makes sense.
I love it.
Now we get to chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, I love chapter 3. We get introduced to Tifa. This is you talked about this on the prep, that we're going to have an open area for each playthrough, basically.
Yeah, so
this is our open kind of hub world.
Yeah, so how this game sort of combines traditional JRPG design with like Western AAA design is that it goes from linear sections, those are like your dungeons in your main JRPGs, to like the hub sections, those are like your town areas in JRPGs. So different I'm going to give you a heads up as we go into each section what the hub area is so you can kind of plan your playthrough around. So there are chapters 1 and 2 are your linear sections, as well as chapter 4 and 5. 3 is a hub area that this is your chance to go to shops. This is your chance to talk to the townspeople. This is your chance to like bond with some characters. And most importantly, this is where your side quests are. Your side quests appear here. And I will say this as someone who loves this game. The side quests are kind of take it or leave it. But you do get some rewards for doing the side quest. You get an extra scene with Tifa if you do every side quest in this chapter.
I did all the side quests. I'm assuming you did all the side quests?
I did all the side quests.
I will say this. They do a wonderful job of managing side quests not painful at all. You complete the side quest, you have a quick skip to get back to the guy who gave you the quest. You can go around and complete multiple side quests at a time, go back and turn them all in. It's very user-friendly. I didn't have to travel very far to do the side quests. Like even the ones with the cats and stuff. Super easy to do. I really enjoyed how they did that. It made me more likely to go do what I would have probably skipped if it was more difficult to do.
And Tifa sort of ties it into the world itself. Like, hey, you got to earn some like reputation. People like you if you do better.
And they'll tell you.
They'll straight up tell it.
Over and over again. You're great. You're so awesome. I'm like, oh, great. Thank you.
The weapons guy especially was my personal favorite because like he
went from screw you to like, you're the best.
I love the bit here right when you get off the train. One detail I love is that the attention to detail in this world. Near the train, it's all cobblestones and the really nice streetlights, but the minute you like walk to the area to the Sector 7 slums, the path just becomes dirt and the streetlights become those like overhead harsh, bright, ugly LED lights that burn your retinas looking at it. So I just love this is where people like are going to see when they pass through this on the train to get to work, to this is what life is actually like. like the gentrification of this world is like just so well thought out. I love it so much.
We are reunited with Tifa, best girl, possibly second best girl.
Oh, are you a Jesse guy?
I'm a Jesse guy. Surprise, motherfuckers!
Wild card.
Wild card. I love myself some problematic actresses. I got it tight, Michael. No,
Barrett being a dad here.
I like Barrett being a dad. I like that because he's like, he's the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet. But he's got a kid, and he loves his kid, and his kid loves him, and doesn't view him like that, and that's awesome, because that's, hey, welcome to being fathers. And Eric's got a soft spot for fatherhood. I really like that. I like how Barrett does not tolerate any, like, interactions with his daughter. He's like, don't scare my fucking kid. It's like, I will kill you. Tifa is lovable right off the bat. Obviously, we learn more about her and Cloud's relationship. I love that the bar is the hangout, and everybody kind of knows Tifa from there, and this, that, and the other.
Tifa's the heart of the group. She's like the glue that keeps everybody together, and she's like what's giving hope to the Sector 7 slums. Like, everyone loves Tifa.
Everybody kind of loves and respects her,
that's what a bartender does in a small town.
I love a good bartender.
Everyone has told their sad sob stories to Tifa, and Tifa, like, probably put their hand on him and listen. Like, it's going to be okay.
Somewhere out there in the world, there is a Tifa for Eric who listened to all of his problems. Thank you. To the bartenders of the world, we salute you. And we also apologize. But I really, really love how this is done. We're kind of given our own little room, where we're going to be, using that to heal up between missions, trigger story events, this, that, and the other. We'll give him a really basic quest, because obviously they don't got the money to pay us, which Cloud does not tolerate, and I appreciate that. Because, motherfucker, if I'm supposed to get paid, pay me.
He's like, we can only pay you a little bit. Like, I got a job for you if you're into it, but we got to go around, and what we're doing is replacing filters, and then like they'll pay us for it, and then Cloud's like, so you need me there if they don't pay, and she's like, yeah,
you're the muscle.
Big sword guy.
This is our way also of introducing to the weapons dealer.
Calls you a punk ass because he's mad that his filter won't work. To be fair, I don't want to pay for a filter that didn't work last time.
I don't blame him. He's kind of got a point. But it's our way of introducing to our vendors, and also introducing to the side quest people. I really suggest doing all the side quests.
It's worth it for the scene. It's a real heart-to-heart moment with Cloud and Tifa that explains where Cloud's mindset was of what brought him to Midgar, as well as like his relationship with Tifa. And
also, there's great dialogue between him and Tifa as you do the side quests.
There's
just great. Yeah. I love the two of them just hanging out and being together. Tifa's got a really cool combat thing. We'll talk about that in 5.
Yeah. So yeah,
you do all the side quests.
There's a bit here I want to touch on. So Cloud hears a dude in the hotel room next to him who's like freaking out, and he opens the door and he sees Sephiroth for like a brief second. And there's a really good comedic bit here where Cloud is about to pull his sword on him and it gets stuck on the door.
Yeah. I like anytime they take into consideration how big the fucking sword is. Whereas, like, this thing is not very practical in tight spaces. You better off just punching people.
Also, I have a note here for when we get to the Johnny section. I think weapons operate on Ninja Turtles rules, where they knock you out. It's not only like in important plot points when those swords actually kill. Because there's a bit there when you take down a bunch of the Shinra dudes, and they're like, we gotta get out here before they wake up.
That is true.
And then also, he pulls the sword on Johnny, and she's like, no, don't do it!
You know what? Yeah.
It's Ninja Turtles rules for the
weapons. I think Barrett's gun works like that, too.
Yeah.
I don't think Barrett actually kills people with that gun. It's like rubber rounds.
I just wanted to bring it out. It's like, the weapons only have intent to kill when the characters have intent to kill. Otherwise, they're just like knocking
blunt objects.
Blunt object. Yeah, exactly. When Raphael turns the sai sideways, you know it's gonna get messed up.
You about to die.
You're about to die.
I really enjoy all the side quest stuff. There's the sequence with Johnny. We find out that Johnny was kind of a blabble.
He's a talker.
And so, yeah, as Cloud puts it, he's a
talker. He needs to die.
Yeah,
Tifa, no, don't kill Johnny.
But I also love that sequence because Tifa's like, what happened to you? That you would just kill this guy. And Cloud's like, what are you talking about? I gotta do what I gotta do. I really enjoy all of this stuff with Tifa and Cloud.
My favorite moment here is like when you go back to base after like the Johnny stuff and she pours you a drink. Cloud just looks at it. He's so smooth. Just holds up the drink and while looking at the drink, glances at Tifa and just says, beautiful. Damn. He's smooth.
My favorite thing is also like they are meeting about their next mission. You were not invited. And so you get to kill some time. You sit there, you can drink, you can go play some darts. I like to play in some darts. That's fun.
It's a fun minigame.
And but like you're not invited because you're not needed. You're a mercenary. You're not needed.
You talked to him and said, "What did you say? When the job's done, we're done." Throwing your own words back at you.
Yeah,
and that kind of like, man, I want to hang out with these dudes. Cloud, why'd you have to do them like that?
Cloud is also kind of mixed because he's like, obviously he has connections with Tifa, and Cloud's kind of getting some more information about the group, and he's like, you can see Cloud kind of sitting up there being like,
these guys aren't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, and Tifa's the one who's like, hey, it's kind of a group. It's kind of a group thing. Sorry, but yeah, that
best girl Jessie time.
Best girl Jessie time. Chapter 4, Mad Dash.
So Jessie comes to us. She's like, hey, meet me at your apartment. And I'm like, hell yeah. And like a lady who gets down to business. Let's go.
I want you to meet my parents.
Yeah, that's smooth. That's smooth. Yeah, I was like, well, no, Jessie, this is not what we signed up for. But get there, and she's like, hey, I have something I need to handle, and I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the summons from her right off the bat. But also what we're getting is we're going to go up topside tonight before the mission. And that involves us needing to do something. We don't know exactly what it was. It'll be revealed as we go out throughout the mission.
Yeah.
But when we're getting ready to go out, Briggs and
Wedge
join us. Like, hey, you can't leave us.
Did you notice Wedge's voice actor is Badger from Breaking Bad?
I did not. I also like the fact that Wedge could be the most annoying character in the world. I actually kind of like him. I think he plays this character very well.
And everyone's just like, oh, that's just Wedge.
Like he's not. He's over the top, but he's not stupid. Like he's just kind of a lovable, fun guy. He's not stupid. You see this character a lot of times in games where he's like, this guy's a dork. No one would ever hang out with him.
Oh my gosh, he's so hungry.
Yeah, but like he's just kind of a fun-loving guy. I can see why these people hang out with him. We get this cool motorcycle sequence. Oh my god!
They're like, we built this for this game, so we're gonna sprinkle it in some more.
Dude, it's so fun. Slapping people around with your sword, throwing energy shots at drones, doing big things. I like that Jessie is constantly making passes at Cloud, and Cloud don't even. I like a woman who's aggressive. Okay, I like an aggressive woman, and Cloud's like, I don't even know what to do with this woman. And then we get this awesome sequence on the highway where another soldier is dispatched.
There's a bit he's not even in the fray right away. There's a moment where you're fighting these dudes as it passes by. There's just this dude like on the wall and just goes and then blows a kiss, and that's the end. And you think, what was that?
My favorite thing is when he's deployed, Shinra guys are scared of him too. Like he is scary to them. So I don't know if that's all soldiers.
Have you been using the assist materia at all that Chadley gives you?
Yeah.
So if you when you do it on the boss fight with Roach, or as he calls himself, Speed Demon.
Yeah.
This character who came from Metal Gear Solid, apparently.
Yeah, he kind of is a Metal Gear Solid character.
It says, canonically, this dude is seen as, like, reckless, and the organization completely hates him because no one trusts him because he's just there. He's a chaotic
He's just there for the fun. He likes fighting people on motorcycles. He don't give a fuck about the calls. And you know what? Bet. But I love when he shows up because like Shinra guys are like, shit, get out of here. He's gonna kill us all.
It shows that soldiers are kind of insane.
Well, they're like super soldiers, right? So like
They're juiced up on that Mako.
They're terrifying.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that normal people are like, I don't want anything to do with these guys.
They immediately escape. Like, we need to get out of here because the boss is here and he's going to kill us in his rampage of chasing down this one dude. Too quick for the eye. You cross him, you die. He's a quote machine.
Oh, yeah.
I love this guy.
But I love the fight.
Jesse hates him. He's like, this guy's the worst.
When we do beat him on the bike, he's just kind of like, hey, man, you fuck up his bike. And he's just like, man, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. That was fun.
I think he wags his finger at
and
you.
He even
like,
says to Cloud, he's like, we got to do this again, man. We got to do this again. This was so fun. And I love, like, Cloud just looking at him like, what the fuck? But he's like, this is so great. And, like, I like that he, like, lets the momentum carry his bike beside Cloud for a little bit just to be like, this was great. We should do this again.
He could have done a cool slide to stop, but he just, like, let it slowly lose speed behind him.
So we do go. So Wedge and Briggs think that we are Biggs. Why did I keep saying Bridge? Oh my god. Wedge and Biggs thinks that we're going to just visit Jesse's parents out of like a check-in because we got the big mission tomorrow.
Yeah. In
reality, Jesse is really struggling with the fact that she thinks she's the one who set off the massive explosion at the reactor. So she's going to break into a Shinra warehouse and get a less powerful explosive. She needs to get access to that warehouse. Her father, who is now in a coma due to an industrial accident, has a pass into that warehouse. So we do a cool stop-by sequence in which they go in and have dinner with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And Cloud robs the house by going in. He goes in and gets the badge from the dad.
Pickpockets her dad on life support.
But I also love this because it's a Jesse kind of explanation. Like, we learn about Jesse's dad, we learn about her mom.
Before we
learn
even
that she's an actress.
Yeah, before we even know anything, we see her tickets for her play as the leading role, like, on the table.
Well, it's almost like she was... she had success as an actress, and that was like her dream, and that's also what she's telling her parents she's still doing.
Yeah, and we'll find out. They know she's a stagehand working there because she stepped down from her lead role to take care of her dad, who was in the accident. And we find out through Biggs and Wedge that's why she joined Avalanche, was because of that.
Or what happened. She also has like a weird spiritual theory about her dad, that her dad is stuck in between the returning to the Earth and the Mako of the reactors.
His spirit is stuck between his body and the planet. So planetology is a major theme in Final Fantasy VII, and it's my favorite thing about Final Fantasy VII. How the planet is seen as like this living force, this living organism that is a source of all the magic and all the modernization of this world, and abusing it, like abusing the gifts that the planet gives us is what's killing the planet. And so all beings being like spiritually connected to each other. Like when Marlene is watching the news and she asks Barrett, did all those people return to the planet? And he says, yes, they did, honey. And that like brings her like peace. Like heaven in this world is going back from where you came from, like returning to the planet. And we'll get into like,
it's the concept
as we go on, the concept of this life stream is like the force where all beings are connected through the planet itself. And
the industrialization and the bastardization of it by the reactors and by these corporations is what's causing like an interruption to our natural connection to our planet.
Yeah, like he can't go all the way to the planet because like
there's an interrupt. There's an
interrupt to the flow between life and death that's happening here. So major theme of this entire game is like the planetology, and that I find that stuff the most fascinating aspect of Final Fantasy VII. I just love how it's done.
I think it is really, really very good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's well done. I like how the characters are. I like how it's dealt with. It's dealt with in a fairly mature way. I really enjoy that.
This is where we get the flashback to Cloud and Tifa on the water tower, where he's saying, I'm going to go be a hero soldier, just like Sephiroth was. Good old Sephiroth. Nothing bad will happen there. And she says, promise me if I'm ever trapped or in danger, that you'll come back for me. And then he connects the dots in his head where like they're having that conversation, and she's like feels stuck, and she says, "I feel trapped." And Cloud's like, "I made a promise, so I know it's a different type of trap than what she was expecting.
It's a metaphorical trap, but he still she needs his help, and he's going to help her.
This is his lifelong friend. This is his one person that he has connection to from his past, because as we see, Sephiroth ripped everything else like away from him. That's inferred to in like the in that scene where he talks about killing his family and burning his village down. Tifa is his connection to that, and he feels like he needs to protect her, and I love that. I'm saying I love that a lot with this game because I genuinely do. But I
really love that whole idea that Tifa and him are connected in a way that's not just like a physical, she needs his physical help. She needs him almost as an emotional support.
Trauma bonding. We love to see it.
We have a great sequence here where we are basically being a distraction
while Jessie goes in and breaks to the Shinra vault to go and steal the blasting agent that she needs to make a more
great
safe
combat
bomb.
Sequence here where we're fighting waves of enemies, and then we're dealing with like these turrets that are being knocked out by the crew.
We're introduced to how the summon mechanic works, because as we fight like the two
Sentry
bots, units, we get our access to our summons and how they work. That's a charge that operates through a time where we can flip a summon to help us out in like the big combat encounters. But then our boy comes back. He picks up his bike.
I love this sequence so much because one, you are surrounded. He shows up. Everyone else is like, shit, this crazy guy again. And like he's like, hey man, I had so much fun last time. Let's do it again. And this time you don't have a motorcycle, so let's do it on foot. And this fight,
it's been a while since I had a fight out of the saddle. So a good line. Aren't we having a wonderful time kicking the hornet's nest?
I enjoy this guy so much.
I love Roach.
Roach is awesome. And I love the fact that like he's like, man, I just had so much fun last time. Let's do it again, me and you.
He heals you before the fight.
Yeah, he even because you had like this really tough fight ahead of time. He's like, let's make it fair. And he heals you up. He's like, hey man, I'm not really here just to kill you. I'm here to have a good time. And like the fight is really good. Like, it's a good fight. There's some, like, pattern recognition you have to make sure to do because he has, like, a really powerful charge attack. He's got some magic stuff.
This is where counters really come into play. Hitting that Punisher mode to do a counter and combining that with the focus thrust to break down his stagger meter this is the combat encounter that really hammers that mechanic. And, like, if you don't, like, block his attacks, you're going to be in trouble. So I like that it's like a sort of pseudo tutorial on how the stagger system really comes into play when it comes to physical attacks.
You get like a 160% damage increase when you stagger them,
and then they can't move. So then you can go to all your abilities. That's when your spells and combining like the spells with the weaknesses comes into play, as well as Cloud's like physical moves.
This is going to come very heavily into play on the episode 5 boss fight.
Yeah,
like that's like when I think it's like, hey, it's time to see if you actually learned your lessons.
That's like the last combat test before we go into the next section is like the spider crab boss fight in chapter 5.
I really like this fight. We beat him, and he's like, man, this was so fun. And then like a bunch of the mechs come out, and he's like, hey man, I'll knock them all over for you, help you out. He's like, I'm not going to let you get killed by these mechs. I can't fight you again if you die. And then he rides off into the sunset. There's a big battle scene between all these mechs. And then we get saved by another subsection of Avalanche.
Yeah.
These guys are a lot more militaristic.
Mm-hmm.
They are a lot more, and they're a subsection of Avalanche, but they don't have ties to us. We are not as... we're not linked to them in the same ways as they.
They're described as like they're holier than thou brothers to the north by Biggs.
Yeah, Biggs is not a super fan,
and that they had ties like during like the Wutai War. They were arming Wutai.
Yeah, so there's some ties there. That's another reference to the Wutai guys. Also, they, like I said, they're definitely a lot more militaristic. Like, they come in, their guns are blazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
So it's referenced here. There was a war a while ago where they were talking about, like, Cloud brings it up, like the ages, like heroes and everything. There was a war between Shinra and Midgar and village of Wutai. There was a war that was fought, and there's a lot of still a lot of hatred amongst Midgar, as there is with wars that have passed with Wutai, and fears that there's revenge, and that Wutai has ties with Avalanche and stuff. So that all comes into play with the fears of the people in Midgar when it comes to Wutai.
Yeah. Which is referenced as we escape. People are like, it's a Wutai attack. You know?
And they're like, go back to your homes and everything.
Go back out. Come on, crazy.
Grandma's like, I fought on the front lines.
I held the line.
Sure, Grandma, go back to bed.
Go back to bed, Grandma.
Wedge is shot in the ass.
I love also that he's shot in the ass, but he's okay. He's just
they check it, and then I love they act like such friends. Jesse goes, "Your ass is fine," and then just smacks his ass. It's such a fun moment there.
I really, really enjoy how that whole sequence plays out. We work our way back out of the city, and we're going to take a different route to get home. We find an old stash of some parachutes, and we airdrop ourselves back to Section 7.
My note says Top Gun-ass music.
Oh, it is Top Gun-ass music. I love also how they link together, and Cloud gets stuck with Wedge, and he's like, God damn it, I gotta be with Wedge.
He keeps calling him bro, and Cloud just says, I ain't your bro.
I ain't your bro. When we get back...
But then he breaks down, he feels bad, and so he just goes, sorry about your ass.
Yeah. Cloud's, he's got a tough exterior, but he's not a bad person. When we get back, there's a great sequence where you kind of go check on everybody. They're not there yet. And then you kind of warned about Jesse, where they're like, hey, Jesse, this is a game to Jesse. Which is where
she flirts. It's fun to her. She's an actress. Don't take it personally.
Don't get super involved, which is why Eric was like, this is my kind of lady right here. Look at this. Problematic lady? Hell yeah. Let's go. I love when you do check in on her to get your payment, because Cloud's about that money.
She literally whispers to you, come back to my place and I'll pay you in full.
And Cloud's like, I was like, hell yeah. I was like, cool. Sounds like a great idea. Nothing bad has
Wait
ever
till
happened.
Wedge is gone and just go.
Nothing bad has ever happened when I've done this. I met my girlfriend that way. But when we go back, she's like, "Hey, how about you come back later after the mission, and I'll cook for you?" And he's like, "I'll think about it." I said I'd think about it.
Yeah, no promises. Your choices are no promises and not happening.
Mom was like, I guess I'm gonna say no promises, because Eric's choice would be like, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. This sounds like a great time." She's like, "I'm gonna cook." I'm like, "Hell yeah, this is even better. Fuck." What's the downside to it?
She makes a mean pizza. I like pizza.
Yeah, like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Then she closes the door and then opens it and just goes, psych, wink, and then closes it again.
Yeah.
Look.
Goddamn.
Jesse's great.
Yeah, I like Jesse a lot. We go back to our house, get some sleep.
The ghosts are back.
The ghosts show up next morning.
Yep.
And they attack the whole fucking town.
One is just hanging over Cloud, and he says a line that I'm still wrapping my head around. Sleep and dream the sweetest of dreams, the ghost says to him. I don't
know what the ghosts are, so I'm in the dark.
I still don't know what that means. So that's where we are with everything.
I'm excited to find out what the ghosts are.
So you go and attack the ghost. We go and attack the ghosts, and they leave after injuring Jesse.
Which seems very targeted.
Yeah, it's targeting Jesse. So now Cloud has to go on the mission.
Yes. It seems like they're manipulating things in the background. Cloud is brought in on the mission. So we are departing to go and blow up Section 5's reactor.
Sector 5's reactor, yes.
Sector 5 reactor. Yeah. We're going with Barrett and Tifa. And so we're taking the train. We get another introduction to our little middle management.
My note here, Barrett just be normal challenge.
Impossible. I love that he's like, how you feel about the terrorists now? And Cloud just he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
the IDs do not work.
They work the first time. The second time they roll around, bad. So they give
so we get attacked on the train. We have to jump off the train. We have to fight our way to Barrett.
Sounds like Big's Plan E. I like that a lot. Like the whole breakdown of like the plans, because it's mentioned before. Like they do such a good job characterizing all these people. They mentioned before that Big's over plans for everything. He thinks about everything, and he's like super paranoid about it. So they're like instantly like, Plan E. This is what we're doing. He calculated all sorts of plans, and Cloud's all the way down from most successful to least successful. He's like, what was the last one? Plan E. It's like, great.
And I love that Barrett's like, that's okay. We'll make it work. Barrett's like very, like, he is very much like, there is no problem we cannot conquer. So we do a lot of combat sequences as we're moving through. There's some great stuff where we're seeing like these, like, they're kind of like killjoys, but they're pointing them in the right direction.
Stamps. So Stamp is a corporate mascot by Shinra, but he was kind of co-opted by Avalanche and People of the Cause to sort of be their mascot instead. So they're using the corporate graffiti and like follow the nose to lead them to where they need to go.
I really like that whole sequence.
I
also like the fact when Barrett's like, I don't really like stamps. And Tifa's like, how do you not like stamps? And he's like, and then they get their whole thing that it was the
corporate propaganda.
But I kind of like the fact that Tifa's like, stamps is great. Like, what's wrong?
He's a beagle in an army hat. How can you not like the beagle in the army hat?
Combat sequence before the boss fight is surprisingly hard because them flamethrower guys suck.
Yeah.
I got my ass kicked twice. I only died twice in this whole thing, and both of them was in that sequence to fight before the boss fight. Because it's like 2 turrets pop up and 2 flamethrower guys. This boss fight is where we need to talk about the combat sequence.
Yeah, so everything, all the combat stuff we learn kind of converges right here in this boss fight as like a final check before we're tossed to the rest of the game. Every piece of combat, from its melee to its spells to its abilities, are all linked to each other. We gotta talk about the materia system. So materia is like this in the world, is this like crystallized material from the planet that is like enhanced with magical abilities. The planet granted us like these orbs with like innate magic in them, and they all have different abilities with each other. Green is your typical spells. Yellow is your straight up like abilities. Like Tifa has chakra, which if you use it, it will give like a good health boost based on the amount of damage you did in that boss fight. Purple is passive abilities like your HP up or stuff that links to abilities you already have. Like Cloud has a special has a dodge materia where if he does a dodge and attacks after it, that attack immediately after that dodge gets a damage boost. Blue is stuff that links together. So you'll get more as we go more into the game and we get more weapons and equipment that have like an equal symbol next to 2 materia marks. Those are linked materia, in that you can have there's one of the blue ones you'll get is called all. So then if you have all connected to heal, you'll be able to heal all your party members with a single cast.
Instead of having to do like cast cure on
one.
Each individual person, you can do it on everybody.
Yeah, and also you can also throw an attack materia on there, so you're all linked with fire. You do fire attacks on everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a juggling act between the different materia capabilities, and as you have them equipped and as you use them, you don't have to use them to have them level up. You can just have them attached to somebody, and they will level up. So if you have a materia that you don't want to use yet but want to pass it on to someone later, you can just give that to somebody and then have them level up as they go on, and then you have a leveled up like wind material. Like if you're not using wind magic yet, you can give it to Cloud, and then as like you approach wind enemies later on, you have a leveled up materia. So it's good to experiment with stuff you're not using because it might become valuable later.
It's also good because you start getting like equipment choices that have like multiple slots for materia, and you can throw more of the ones you might not be using on those slots just to level them up.
And eventually you'll have like a set build of what you like using for each character. I do think that it's a shame that this game and Rebirth do not have equipment loadouts where you can hot swap between different builds of materia. you kind of got to remember in your head, I like my Cloud to have Bolt with this weapon. And the weapons all have, each weapon that you get has an ability attached to it. As you use that weapon, you'll level up an ability. Once you level up that ability, you'll have it for every weapon.
Yeah, which I do like that a lot, because like that way you don't feel like you wasted time on an older weapon.
Yeah.
And like, because like obviously I'm using a different sword now for Cloud. I feel like, okay, I didn't waste time on this sword if I get a new one, because I'm still getting those abilities.
Yeah, and each weapon has its own skill tree where you can level up each weapon. If they handed this to you at the very beginning, it'd be too much.
I am still slightly overwhelmed
by it. It's a lot here.
But I am excited to get better at it. Like, this boss fight, I really love this boss fight, because this is like hey, we've been teaching you a lot of stuff. Time for you to learn it. Because there's so many multiple stages to this fight where you're taking on different sections of him. You've got, like, you're playing like a cat and mouse game at the beginning where one of your character needs to be, like, distracting the bot where the other two do the damage.
You can cast, I think it's lightning damage is his weak point, so you can cast that on the legs to cripple it. And when you do that, it'll become pressured. And when it's pressured, each character has a different ability to focus on that pressure gauge to make it go, to stagger the enemy, so you can do a ton of damage on it.
And when it gets staggered, it opens up also that generator port that allows you to do extra damage there, which also it progresses on through the boss fight as you start opening up different things, like the weapon pods come out. This is a really this was an intense boss fight.
Yes.
There was multiple times I was down to like a sliver of health on somebody, and I was casting the revive on people and like having to run away to get, and because you have to be using abilities and damaging the enemy to get access to your spells and stuff, there was times where I was like, I got to come in and do some damage just so I can bring Cure up to cure Cloud over there, so I could get Tifa back up over here. Mm-hmm. And Tifa needs to kind of build herself. So I would put barrier on Tifa while Cloud is trying to do the bulk of the damage. And Barrett became my like support guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why this combat system is so good and so effective is because it takes all of the strategy from the turn-based combat system and converts it into a real-time combat system. If you go in and just hit square on enemies on the normal difficulty, you're not going to be doing damage. You have to take advantage of every tool in your toolkit like you would in a turn-based combat system. It just takes that turn-based system and basically accelerates the pace tenfold, and I adore this system so much. It's the base for my favorite combat system in video games.
It's a little overwhelming.
It is.
But it's very good.
It's the hill is steep, but man, once you master it, you're like, oh man, I wish every action RPG played like this.
I am so excited to continue to build it out.
Because it's all about building your characters and building your sets. Once you find material you like, and you'll experiment more with weapons, you'll find a weapon that really drives with your materia system. It all connects to each other. And once you find that combo that really clicks with that character, you will swear by that character in that build. I love how it plays out, and it's going to be building blocks on top of each other. I can't wait to compare our loadouts at the end of this game to see this how I handle this, how my Cloud is, this how my Tifa is, this how my Barrett is, and see if we have some who's our healer is what I'm saying. Like
right now, I think Barrett's going to be my healer because he has a couple of like abilities to keep himself alive. He has that like basically it's like a stone skin.
Yeah, he has like a barrier to keep
which is good for if you want to keep a guy, you want to keep healing people. It's good to have. Also, because he has a ranged weapon, a lot of times he's able to be back farther away anyway. Tifa is kind of like a glass cannon for me right now, but once she starts getting going, she's pretty good. And then Cloud is just my main DPS right now.
Yeah, she's good to have the armor equipment that gives her a boost in health and stuff, because it allows her to stay in the fight. Keeping Tifa in the fight is important because when she charges up all her abilities, she does hella damage.
Yeah, when you really start like able to just like you get that chakra thing up all the way and her hits start, because it goes down a level every time you use it, but you're able to like do multiples in a row.
Yeah, I think it's called like Unbridled Rage to like make it pop up another level, and the more like you're using your abilities and like popping up that level, the more powerful her attacks become. So she's so fun to play as.
I like playing as her, but I also really like playing as Cloud. Cloud's who I usually generally control.
Yeah.
This boss fight's amazing. We are being monitored by this kind of the second in command of the president here. He's
the like.
I imagine he's our main villain.
He's your military officer, so he's handling all of all like the weaponry and stuff. He's their secretary. He's Shinra's secretary of defense. Is how I would put it.
Yeah. He does not succeed in bringing us down as we destroy this robot. And we make our progress into the reactor for Sector 5, where we will be.
We're heading up a freight elevator into Chapter 6.
Yes.
And that's where we stop.
Great opening.
Today.
Really, really enjoying it. Who knows? I could have not liked this, and we've been stuck with this for 5 shows. But I really
that's the risk that we played here.
But I really, really enjoying it so far, man. Michael, what will we be doing next?
We are playing the next 3 chapters.
So 6, 7, and 8.
6, 7, and 8. I tried to separate those as much as I could. Stop at the beginning of chapter 9.
So only 3 chapters, so a little bit less. What's our playtime? Because this
it's going to be about.
Hours.
I think it's about to be. I think this might be our shortest section, but I'll go ahead and say now. Chapter 8 is a hub zone, and chapter 9 has a hub zone in it.
Yeah, so we needed to break.
So we needed to in order to. This was a difficult game to break up. I'm happy that this lined up right at 6 hours here because I was worried this would be too much too soon.
No. I played I think it was 6 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh.
Now, I spent a lot of time dicking around at one point.
Chapter 3 has a lot of dicking around moments.
Yeah, I dicked around a lot. But
6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8.
8 is your hub zone. It's going to be a good time. I really like this chunk here. I'm going to say it about every section. I love this game, it turns out. And I'm loving coming back to it more after playing everything else. Because I see seeing it as like now, not just like someone new to this and someone who wants to like Final Fantasy VII to someone who now loves Final Fantasy VII coming back to this. I'm having a blast playing this again. And I'm excited that we recorded this because now I can play more of it. I'm ready to get back to it. This was the hardest thing about like playing my section early because I'm like, I just want to play more of this game.
RPG Summer is in here we are. We're in the fight now, boys and girls. And
let's save the planet.
Let's save the planet. Captain Planet's over here at Stay the Safe. We'll be back for part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake. We'll be back for more shenanigans. Check us out on TikTok, YouTube. Get out there, send the comments. Let's get some engagement going. Let's get some stuff so we can show more people and we can get some more of this cool stuff that we're going to be doing because we have some fun stuff to announce. I am genuinely very happy with some of the stuff we get to do. Hey, I gotta do my sign off. Stay safe, brother.